Lee, you guys do amazing work always, but of course, when you've got somebody like Donald Trump at the helm of the Oval Office, you got to do even more. Your organization, the ACLU, one of the most powerful critics of Trump's first term, filing 434 legal challenges against that White House, successfully blocking the Muslim ban and the family separation policy. But what's being done now preemptively before he even takes office again?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Katie. We have been preparing now for a year. The first time around, we had to sort of just jump in. We weren't prepared, I think, for President Trump winning. This time we've been preparing with at least 15 lawyers since the winter time for what he was promising during the campaign. Having said that, I think it's going to take a whole country effort for people to push back, and not just in the courts, but sort of with a whole narrative that, look, we want immigration reform. The people wanted immigration reform. We want immigration reform, but there's lines over which we won't cross. And I think what's happening is everyone's talking about mass deportations in the abstract. But I think when the American public sees what that looks like in practice, I think they will push back, just as they did with family separation. During the first term, people wanted immigration reform. But then when they saw little babies being ripped apart, they said, well, wait, this is not what we meant. And so I think it's going to look different in practice to people.
You know, Lee, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think it's also important for people to understand it's not just the mass deportation that Trump has promised. Trump has also promised to end TPS, temporary protected status, and that would affect more than 860,000 immigrants currently in the United States. He also has indicated that he's going to end humanitarian parole programs. I mean, these are things that impact tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people that are here in the United States. Can the ACLU help these people? How is it going to happen in terms of the rollout of these plans for Donald Trump?
Yeah, so we will be doing everything we possibly can with, our partners out there. But I think it's going to take more than just court cases. As I said before, I think it's going to take communities pushing back, states and local governments pushing back, religious organizations pushing back. And to be clear, it's not just like a political thing. We need to protect people's lives. And what I saw during the first term is that people said, well, wait, I didn't know that he could come after my son's custodian in the school. My son's custodian is such a nice guy. I think what people are not realizing is that when they talk about mass deportation, it goes well beyond national security threats or very serious criminals. And so I think that's what's going to happen, is they're going to take a full pushback. But we will be pushing back in the court, and we will be trying to organize people on the ground as well.
You know, Lee, we've got people like California AG Rob Bonta saying, you know what, we're not going to do this. We are going to stand strong and protect our California citizens. We're going to make sure that we adhere to the decency and to the rule of law. What are you hearing about other blue states and blue cities, including sanctuary cities, that are trying to protect those that are living there?
Yeah, we are hearing that states are gearing up for this. And to be clear, I think they're gearing up because they think it's a public safety problem for the federal government to go after immigrants in their communities and ask local police officers to go after immigrants in their communities. Remember that if the immigrant communities are too scared to come forward and report crimes or be witnesses to crimes, that's a real problem from a public safety standpoint. So I think what you see is a lot of police officers saying, and a lot of city mayors saying, from a public safety standpoint, it's not smart to terrorize entire groups of people who we need to help with enforcement of the law. And so I think that's why they're going to push back, is because they don't think this is good for their public safety.
Lee Gelernt, Deputy Director of the Immigrants' Rights Project at the ACLU. As always, I'm appreciative of you joining us today and for the hard work that you guys are doing there. Everybody go support the ACLU. It's critical. Thanks for being here.